Yeah, I want to look real quick at an example of a hypothesis test that's used in research. The article I want to look at here is Impact of Computer Physician Order Entry on Medication Error Prevention. So medication errors are very common in medicine, and we want to try to prevent those as much as possible. So in this paper, they carried out a hypothesis test. So here's the abstract of the paper. So they talk about how medication errors are very common and they cause extra work, and they talk about the objective, which is to evaluate the impact of this computerized physician order entry, so POE, physician order entry, on reducing medication errors. So that's their research objective. So that's telling you what they're trying to show. And they talk about the study design, a time series analysis, what the participants are, what our intervention is. And if we keep going, now they talk about what's our outcome measure. Oh, well, medication errors is what we're interested in, excluding missed doses. And what were the results of the study? Well, they said non-missed dose medication error rate fell 81%. Wow, that sounds really good. Is it good? Well, let's read on. So it fell from 142 per 1,000 patient days to 26.6 per 1,000 patient days. That sounds good too. And in the final period, P was less than 0.0001. That's a really small p-value. In fact, that's significantly smaller than 0.05. So this is a very significant result. And then they looked at some other areas here. Non-intercepted serious medication errors fell 86%. Notice that p-value was 0.003, which is much less than 0.05. That's a highly significant result. So there's only 3 samples in 10,000 that would be as extreme or more extreme than the sample. So it's only 3 in 10,000 that this is by chance. Only 1 in 10,000 that this result is by chance. And then they also talked about allergy errors here, and then that p-value is also very small. And so they concluded here that their physician order entry substantially decreased medication errors. So, well, let's look at what is the null hypothesis, what is the research hypothesis, and how do we interpret it? Because this will actually help you with your final paper. So remember here that the research hypothesis is what you're trying to show. They were trying to show that computerized physician order entry decreases medication errors. So that's what you're trying to show. The null hypothesis is going to be the nothing happens hypothesis. So if it's not the case that it decreases medication errors, then it's going to have no effect. So our null hypothesis is that computerized POE does not decrease medication errors, has no effect. So how are we going to interpret this? Well, our p-value that they gave us for the first portion of the study was 0.0001, which is significantly less than 0.05. Remember that 0.05 here is your cutoff for something that's statistically significant. So we're going to reject the null hypothesis because p is less than 0.05. So we're rejecting that POE does not decrease medication. And we're going to conclude the research hypothesis, which is POE does decrease medication errors. Okay, so we conclude POE decreases medication errors. And again, that p less than 0.001, that means this is 1 in the 10,000th place. So that means that less than 1 sample out of 10,000 is going to be as extreme or more extreme than the current sample that was analyzed. And that would be really unusual. That's a very unusual result, highly significant. So hopefully this gives you some insight and will help you out with your final paper.